Guys, remember the funny poorly thought out Mr. T-Lex5 Wonder Weapon ranking video I looked at a while ago? Well, have I got a treat for you. If ranking videos with important information missing, lies and logical fallacies be something you wish, then allow me to present to you Top 10 Worst Wonder Weapons by Black Ops Amazing. Once again, this is a video analysing different Wonder Weapons that simply doesn't hold up and has very little logic throughout. Should we just begin so I can show you what I mean?
Getting straight into this, in at number 10, from best to worst, I have had to pick, well, let's just call it the BO4 Wunderwaffe, but it's pretty much the same as the original Wunderwaffe that we first saw back in World at War. However, this version, its main difference is it has a scope. It's also got a bigger magazine size. In my opinion, this is better than the original, mainly due to that ammo capacity. The one thing over this that the original version does have is the zombies could have been a lot further away from each other for the chain reaction to spread. But overall, this is better than the Wunderwaffe DG2. Still though, with that, it's not amazing.
Now it's going to be somewhat difficult for me to compare some of the earlier weapons on this list to some of the later ones, as obviously you won't know what's coming up, so I'll make the comparisons later and just focus on what's already being said at this moment. So to start off, he says that the main improvement on this weapon over the original Wunderwaffe is the ammo capacity, which is true, it does have more ammo. Having this weapon at the number 10 spot has the potential to be reasonable overall, but having him name things that supposedly make it an improvement over the original Wunderwaffe sets off red flags for the rest of the video, as you can name whatever benefits you want, it doesn't change the fact that this weapon becomes a two-shot round about the 40s, as opposed to the Wunderwaffe's infinite damage. Ammo capacity doesn't really matter if it's going to do no damage. The original ray gun has much more ammo than the Wunderwaffe, but you wouldn't say it's better, would you? Another red flag, arguably, is the fact that right at the end he specifically says that it's better than the original Wunderwaffe. How interesting.
So anyway, moving on down into number 9, I have picked the Raygun Mark II. For me, the Mark II is an improvement of the Mark I, but not quite as good as the Mark III. My main problem with this, and I guess any Raygun, is it just doesn't kill groups of zombies, especially the Mark II. The best strategy to use this is just, like I said, have them in front of you, stand in a doorway or a long hall. Unlike the Mark I, it can go through multiple zombies, but this is COD, the zombies can come from everywhere, so you 100% need another weapon to complement this.
So next up is the Raygun Mark II. I think it's only fair to have most of the Raygun types on this list, but the placement is what's important. One complaint he makes is that it isn't good at taking out hordes because it's a burst gun, but I'd argue that's only really the case in Black Ops 3 and 4, as in Black Ops 2 you can bunch up an entire horde incredibly tightly so that they take up the space of about 2 zombies. It's crazy. And because of that, you can effectively wipe a horde with a couple bursts, at least in Black Ops 2. But again, not so much in Black Ops 3 and 4. So this placement's kinda, I don't know. The case is there, but not quite as there as you'd like it to be, you know?
Moving on down into number 8, we have the KT-4, which we saw in Zetsubo no Shima. Now it's difficult to talk about this one all too much since I haven't used it as much as other Wonder Weapons. The main reason for that is the fact that you have to build it, and I also don't think it was worth it if you're just going for a quick game. If you're going for high rounds or the Easter egg, then sure, but there was always just something about it for me in which I thought, I don't really fancy getting it. It was never a Wonder Weapon that I was all too excited about, that I wanted to go out of the way to get.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is a great start to the list. Right off the bat, we have an infinite damage Wonder Weapon with what is somewhat low ammo, but still good potential, below 2 weapons that become 2 shots incredibly early on in the game. So what his reasoning essentially boils down to is that he hasn't used it enough. What? Look, I'll be the first to tell you that Zetsubo isn't fun for me, especially getting the Masamune. But you can't say that makes it the worst Wonder Weapon, or one of the worst Wonder Weapons, right? Unpopular opinion, I hate Origins and I don't find it fun. I especially don't enjoy building and upgrading the staffs. But would that then be a good reason for me to say that the Ice Staff is the 8th worst Wonder Weapon of all time? I'd argue not.
But in at number 7, I have picked the Wunderwaffe. In World at War and BO1 it was pretty much the same, but in BO3 the Giant, it was... I don't want to say it because it was such a nostalgic gun. It was one of the first Wonder Weapons. In fact, it was the first, along with the ray gun. But the BO3 version is very bad. The original version was good. Nostalgia always gets the best of you. It wasn't as good as a lot of people say.
So next up we have the original Wunderwaffe. Absolutely insane. Another infinite damage Wonder Weapon considered lower than 2 that are not infinite damage. Look, the Wunderwaffe absolutely isn't a great Wonder Weapon, especially compared to what is out there, but at the end of the day, It is infinite damage, yes, even in BO3. I'm not quite sure why he says that the BO3 version was really as bad, as it is statistically the same as the World at War and Black Ops 1 version. I believe that it was bad at launch, but eventually received a buff, and now I don't see how it can be considered worse than the Raygun Mark II or even the DG Scharfschütze. But yes, it's still not great, low ammo, low kill potential. I just think it's in the completely wrong spot.
Okay, for number 6, I have picked the Scavenger from Call of the Dead. This is a sniper rifle wonder weapon, different to what we would usually have. Being a sniper, it has a very slow rate of fire, it has a low magazine size of 3, a pretty slow reload time as well. When you pack-a-punch it, it becomes the hyena in For Dead. And so, similar to the Wunderwaffe that we get on this map, both have sniper scopes because it's a big map. It suits Call of the Dead, or in the Wunderwaffe's case, Tag der Toten, but if it was on any other map, it'd be further down this list than it is.
So this is absolutely fair enough. It's got low ammo, low damage, and just generally isn't too great, so this is a fair enough placement. I don't really have much more to add to this, to be honest.
In at number 5, we have the OG, the original Raygun. It was never meant to be the best. Because it's a weapon that we see in every map, it is supposed to complement other weapons, and that's exactly what it does. It complements other wonder weapons. Yes, we all know about the splash damage, we all want PhD back, but it's the Raygun, okay? In the later games, BO3, BO4, it became less prominent.
Again, reasonable choice. The Raygun, although it has a lot of ammo, it obviously doesn't have the damage. Everyone knows what the Raygun is and how it works. Again, no need to comment further.
So, moving on to number 4, regrettably, because as of late, I've kind of started to enjoy using this wonder weapon, and it is the Winter's Howl. Now, this may be because in BO4, in my opinion, it's very good, and so it's hard to rate this since in BO4, it's good, whereas in World at War, Black Ops, it isn't good.
Well, would you look at this? We've had a few reasonable picks in a row. Raygun's not great, Scavenger's not great, and of course, the Winter's Howl's not great. The Black Ops 4 version, while a major improvement, is still not great, and it isn't going to do very much at all in the 50s, in either version, Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 4.
In number 3, we have the Tundra Gun.
That ain't even a Tundra Gun. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. You're telling me we're going to put an infinite damage, full Horder racing, ammo stocked beast of a weapon at the third worst one weapon of all time. You're going to tell me a Raygun would do you better, a Winter's Howl would do you better. You are telling me the Wunderwaffe DG2 or Scharfschütze is going to do better than this. Man, this is crazy. This is too crazy. This is too crazy. Placed at 17th best is one thing, but third worst? That's another level.
I have no idea what Treyarch were thinking when they put this wonder weapon in the game. It is... I don't know how to explain it. It's the Thunder Gun, but it's horrendous.
Horrendous? Hey, if you call an immense buff to ammo capacity and horde kill potential horrendous, then yeah, let me see some horrendous wonder weapons. Let's go. I'm looking forward to it. It's crazy because the Tundra Gun is actually uncomparable to everything else on this list. Sure, some of the weapons are placed weirdly, but most of them are due a spot on this list. But the Tundra Gun? There is so little room for debate as to whereabouts you would rank this, and if you want to talk about best weapons, it would be difficult to not mention this at all while maintaining any sense of credibility.
Unlike the Thunder Gun, where if you got trapped in a corner, you could shoot it straight ahead in front of you and it would blast away the whole group of zombies. The original Thunder Gun was pretty much your lifesaver. This one, instead of taking out a whole group, it kind of takes out the zombies right ahead of you. You almost have to aim it where you want it to go.
Insane. You almost have to aim it where you want it to go. If the one criticism you want to use is that you have to aim, then the Mark II should be this low, not the Tundra Gun. Furthermore, if you get cornered with this, a combination of the splash damage and the range it does have means that you'll still escape anyway, no doubt about it. I've done it several times, I've seen others do it several times. It's not difficult. You can hit zombies that are behind you by just shooting the ground with this thing, so I struggle to understand this point, especially when you consider that its splash damage range is still very large while doing minimal damage to the player.
I don't know, it just feels like this wonder weapon doesn't work. It's awful. Not quite as bad as number 2 or 1. It's still usable, although I wouldn't use it. If you just pack a punch an assault rifle or an SMG, you're guaranteed that they're going to be better than this.
Okay, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. At launch, this weapon was so ass. So ass, as I'm sure we all recall. So ass. But it got buffed. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe this video was released before or shortly after the buff came out. But, no. The Tundra gun was buffed very quickly, and you compare that to this video's release date. No, this man absolutely has to know that it's infinite damage if he has used it even once. Although it's possible he hasn't, because once again, this gameplay shows a Thunder gun for some reason or another, rather than a Tundra gun. That's quite funny. So the final two spots go to the VR11 and the Jet gun respectively, and I don't really have anything to say about that. It's what you come to expect with these videos. But man, okay, at its best, there were a few good calls for some of the weapon placements. A few. But I don't really feel like they make up for some of the absolute nonsense, the logical fallacies, and the simply wrong ones. They far outweigh the good calls. Now look, obviously with every wonder weapon, there'll be some leeway where if everyone ranks it, due to simple preference and opinion, but it goes a bit overboard when some of your justifications simply contradict the known facts, you know? Anyway, there's my piece on that. Maybe I'll look at some more videos like this in the future because it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Don't go hating this channel and shit. Let me know if you think I'm wrong anywhere, and I will catch you a lot later. And to send you off on one final note, here's a compilation of most of the weapons in this list on round 50, so you can see which ones actually compare to what he says.
You almost have to aim it where you want it to go.